All right. Circle of Hell, The Thieves, Canto 24. Friendly reminder, Menagerie of Hell or the Hellish Flip Off. Art, some people are using my printout, my coloring page printouts for those. Some people are finding their own. Some people are finding these. And then we'll write an essay probably after spring break. Line 1, please. In that still baby boyish time of year, when sunlight chills its curls beneath Aquarius, when nights grow shorter equaling the day, and frost writes fair copies on the ground to mimic in design its snowy sister, its pen, though not chill-tempered to endure. The peasant in this season, when supplies run short, rolls from his bed, looks out and sees the fields are glistening white, so slaps his thigh, goes in, then grumbles up and down as though, poor sod, he couldn't find a thing to do, till out once more he fills his wicker trug with hope, at least. No time at all. The features of the world transform. Line 14. He grabs his goad. Outdoors, he prods his lambs to open pasture. In some such way, I too was first dismayed to see distress so written on my leader's brow, but he as quickly plastered up the hurt, and so, arriving at the ruined bridge, my leader turned that sour, sweet look on me that first he'd shown me at the mountain foot. What was I going to say? Oh, line 2, talking about an astrological sign would have really not been cool with church leadership. They would not have wanted to hear Aquarius.
Spirituality, paganism.
Yeah, very pagan thing to be saying. But he is in hell, so I guess he's saying pagan stuff in pagan hell, I guess, or Christian, or pagans in Christian hell.
Anyone who's not Christian is limbo at least.
Well, yeah. So remember that very hard to read, hard to understand at times, but just kind of sit back and chill and let the story flow. So something's going on. Virgil kind of looks distressed, is my big takeaway so far. Line 22. He spread his arms then, having in his thoughts surveyed the landslip, and a man of sense assessed it well. He took me in his grip. Then, always with adjustments in his moves, so that it seemed he foresaw everything, in hauling me towards the pinnacle, line 28, top of 209, of one moraine, he'd see a spur beyond and say, "Next, take your hold of that niche there, but test it first, to see how well it bears. So go easy when you're walking." This was no route for someone warmly dressed. Even for us, he, weightless, shoving me, we hardly could progress from ledge to ledge. Had not the gradient been less severe than that which faced it on the other side, I'd have been beat. I cannot speak for him. But Rotten Pockets slopes towards that flap that opens on the lowest sump of all, and so, in contour, every ditch is shaped, with one rim proud, the other dipping down. So, in the end, we came upon the point where one last building block had sheared away. My lungs by now had so been milked of breath that, come so far, I couldn't make it further. I flopped, in fact, when we arrived just there. "Now, you must needs," my teacher said, "shake off your wanton indolence. No fame is won beneath the quilt or sunk in feather cushions. Whoever fameless wastes his life away, leaves of himself no greater mark on earth than smoke in air or froth upon the wave. So, upwards, on, and vanquish labored breath. In any battle, mind power will prevail, unless the weight of body loads it down. There's yet a longer ladder you must scale. You can't just turn and leave all these behind. You understand? Well, make my words avail." So up I got, pretending to more puff than really. I could feel I'd got within. "Let's go," I answered. Ooh, you all say that right now, don't you? "Let's go! I'm all strength and dash." I gotta highlight that.
what they were saying on that website that you said.
Doesn't that... Come on, guys. That's like a very, very popular common term or phrase right now. Dante invented it.
No.
I mean, isn't that something?
It's just a pair of words.
No.
Let's
Dante invented it.
No. Okay.
Yeah, whatever you say, Tigan.
I thought the answer to everything was Shakespeare first.
Not with Let's Go, unless I'm wrong. But this is
I feel like
this is 200 years before Shakespeare. Shakespeare ain't even born yet. His mama ain't even born yet.
I feel like they're just words.
No, I disagree. You're wrong. I'm right.
Okay.
Gee, thanks, teacher. Thanks for inspiring my learning so much.
Let's go. Line 61. Upwards, we made our way along the cliff, poor, narrow going where the rocks jut out, far steeper than the slope had been before. Line 64, page 211. Talking to seem less feeble, on I went, when, issuing from the ditch beyond, there came a voice, though one unfit for human words. I made no sense of it, but now I neared the arch that forms a span across that pocket. The speaker seemed much moved by raging ire. Downwards I bent, but in such dark as that, no eye alive could penetrate the depths. But, sir, I said, make for the other ledge, and let us then descend the pocket wall. From here I hear, but do not understand. So too I see, yet focus not at all. I offer you, he said to me, no answer save just do it. Anybody?
Nike, I know you're trying to do like Nike's not original. Dante said it.
Nike's slogan, hello. I'm sorry, but no. Noble demands by right deserve the consequence of silent deeds. So where the bridgehead meets embankment 8, we then went down, pursuing our descent, so all that pocket was displayed to me, and there I came to see a dreadful brood of writhing reptiles of such diverse kinds, the memory drains the very blood from me. Let Libya boast, for all her sand, no more, engender as she may Cheladri, Fare, Chentris, and Amphibene, Jaculi, I don't know, 88. Never, and yes, add Ethiopia too, with all beyond the Red Sea, like we just discussed with Yemen. Dry and waste, had she displayed so many vicious pests, and through all this abundance, bitter and grim and panic, naked humans ran up on the screen. No holes to hide in here, or heliotropic charms. Behind their backs, the sinners' hands were bound by snakes. These sent both tail and neck between the buttocks, then formed the ends in knots up front. What's heliotropic charm?
Helio is fire. Sun, fire. So heliotropic might be islands.
Line 97.
Describe the tendency of plants or plant parts to turn or grow towards the direction of the sun. Sunflowers face the sun.
97. And near our point at one of them, just look, a serpent headlong hurled itself and pierced exactly at the knit of spine and nape. Line 100. Then, faster than you scribble I or O, that shape caught fire, flash flared, and then, needs must, descended in cascading showers of ash. There, lying in destruction on the ground, the dead dust gathered of its own accord, becoming instantly the self it was. Compare. The phoenix as the... I feel like that compare is kind of a fourth wall too. The phoenix, as the sages say, sages are like see into the future people, will come to its 500th year, then die, and then on its own pyre be born anew. Its lifelong food is neither grass nor grain, but nurture drawn from weeping balm and incense. Its shroud at last is fume and of nard and mirth. The sinner first drops down as someone might when grappled down, not knowing how, by demons or else some other epileptic turn, who then, on rising, gazes all around, bewildered by the overwhelming ill that came just now upon him, sighing, staring. So too this sinner, getting to his feet. What power and might in God! How harsh it is! How great the torrent of its vengeful blows! My leader then demanded who he was. I pelted down this. Oh, wait. I pelted down the sinner in reply to this wild gorge right now from Tuscany, Italy. Beast living suited me, not human life. The mule that once I was. I'm Johnny Fucci, animal. Pistoia is my proper hole. I to my leader, tell him, don't rush off, and make him say what guilt has thrust him down. I've seen him. He's a man of blood and wrath. The sinner, hearing this, made no pretense. He fixed on me a concentrated eye and colored up in brash embarrassment. It pisses me right off, he then declared. Far more than being ripped away from life, if you have got to see me in this misery. Who knew that 1,300 people said it pisses me off? Line 136. Page Snobs 215. I can't say no to what you ask of me. I'm stuck down here so deep 'cause it was me, the thief, who nicked the silver from the sanctuary. Then I just lied to grass up someone else. You won't, however, laugh at seeing this if ever you return from these dark dives. Prick up your ears and hear my prophecy. Pistoia first will slim and lose its blacks. Then Florence, too, renews its laws and ranks. Mars draws up fireballs from the Val di Magra, wrapped all around in clouds and turbulence, and these, in acrid, ever-driven storms, will battle high above the piscine acre. A rapid bolt will rend the clouds apart, and every single white be seared by wounds. I tell you this, I want it all to hurt. Pistoia will first slim and lose its blacks. Every single white. And they're capitalized. Anybody?
I was just underlining these.
Anybody? I'm going to go to the art for help on that one.
Capitalized things are usually religious, right? Like God and He.
Yeah. Why would black and white be?
Maybe different kinds of snakes?
Different snakes? Maybe 25 is our answers. Okay. Black. They kind of look black. Alright, 25.
Megan. I accept.
Right now?
No, I just have questions. The question's being stupid. In this one, it wants me to find an inappropriate verb tense, but here it starts during the colonial era. People believed, so that's appropriate.
Canto 25. Page snobs, that's 217. Line 1. His words now reached their end, and then the robber hoisted hands on high, a fig fuck formed in each, and screamed, "Take that! I'm aiming God at you!" Okay, so now we know the F word existed in 1300. Line 4. From that point on, the serpents were my friends. For one entwined its length around his neck, and as if to say, "I'd have him speak no more." And then another bound his arms down tight, and clenched itself so firmly round the front, he could not shake or shiver in either limb. Pistoia, Pistoia, why not take a stand? Just burn yourself to blackened ash, and be no more. Your seed succeeds in doing only ill. Like, don't have kids, I think. In all, line 13, in all of hell, through every murky ring, I saw no spirit facing God so proud. Even that king flung down from Theban walls, away he fled. He spake no further word, and then there came, I saw, a wrathful centaur. Where is he called, so sour and crude? Maremma, I should think, with all its swamps, has fewer snakes than he. They writhed from rump to where on human features lips begin. Above its shoulders, stretched behind the nape, there lay a dragon, wings extended wide, and all it hits against, it sets on fire. This centaur, so my teacher said, is Cacus. He is the one so many times he caused a lake of gore to blood the Aventine. Oh, I finally got my gore.
Yeah.
Yay. Line 28, page 219. He does not tread the path his brethren take, for spying once a mighty herd at hand, he made it all his own by furtive fraud. Beneath the mace of Hercules, that god rained down 100 blows. We're talking about Hercules earlier, and he perhaps felt 10 no more. His devious doings ceased. So Virgil spoke. The centaur sped away, but now 3 spirits had approached beneath. Through neither of us noticed they were there until they shouted out, "So who are you?" Our storytelling pausing at this point, fourth wall, we fixed attention wholly on that trio. Among the 3 was none I recognized, and yet it chanced, as happens many times, that one was forced to speak another's name, inquiring, "Where has Sionfa got to now?" At which to shut my leader up, I placed a finger slantwise from my chin to nose. If you are slow, my reader, to receive in faith what I'll say now, no miracle. I saw it all, and yet can scarce believe. While eyebrows raised, I stared at these 3 men. A reptile hurled itself with all 6 feet at one, front on, and took a total hold. It clenched the belly with its middle claws. With each anterior it seized an arm. It sank a forked fang deep in either cheek. Along each loin it slithered out a leg, then struck its tail between the 2 to take now upwardly a grip around the buttocks. Ivy and tangles never barbed a tree so tight as this ferocious awfulness, linking its limbs and tendrils round the trunk, as though the 2 were formed of warming wax. Each clung to each, mingling in their hues. Neither now seemingly was what it was. 64. Like that, a flame runs flaring up a page, and just ahead goes ever darkening tints, not black as yet, and yet the white still dies.
Those ones aren't capitalized
Okay, it looks like the snakes are like even like going in belly, or I don't know. If you don't like snakes, I don't think you want to be in this level.
the only thing that is.
It reminds me of Prometheus's punishment.
Which was
The crows picking at his body.
It was a falcon eating his liver every day, which regrew.
oh right. Okay, I remember the liver part. They're just like chilling, like, oh wow, look at that guy. Why is none of these crazy creatures like endangering? Like I feel like there's no danger.
For Dante and Virgil?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I think
That's kind of the whole point of
they're
they're going
visitors to
through
hell.
hell.
They aren't being
There's
punished.
nothing's gonna hurt him. Because he's just exploring hell, not there for punishment.
So Tigan, I'd actually like to redeem my air stamp now, because I want to explain the importance of being able to understand complex literature. Because being able to understand complex literature is important, because then you get to learn that this book is worthless aside from its historical context. So, you don't read a book like this and go, it's the greatest piece of literature I've ever read in my life. When in reality, it's just a poorly written fan fiction of a schizophrenic Italian.
Yeah, and remember, in 1320 to about 1330, 65% of Europeans died from the plague. Imagine that. So that would be, if at this school, if 50 kids no longer were here.
COVID pretty much.
Yeah.
Line 67. So I mean, you're going to be writing about dark stuff because your neighbors are dying, and the rats are in your house, and the rats have lice, and you have fleas in your bed, and 67. The other two at this stared on, and each moaned out, "Oh, Magnolo, how you change! Already look, you're neither two nor one." And yes, those two by now were both as one. That is, the outlines of the two appeared in one face only. Two nests lost and gone. Two arms were fashioned out of 4 long strips. Thorax and stomach, loins and thighs, and hips became such organs as you've never seen. In each, the primal signs were all struck out. Two, yet not either, as it seemed, this sick apparition, so treading slow, it went its way. The great green lizard at the summer's height, lashed by a dog's star rage from hedge to hedge, crosses the path as though a lightning flash. So paunch high, darting at the two of 3 who still remained, inflamed and fierce, there came a snakelet, livid as a peppercorn. This serpent, pierced in one that spot where first we draw our nourishment. Okay, the serpent pierced in one that spot where first we draw our nourishment, transfixing him in his mouth. It then fell back, stretched out before his face. The one transfixed gazed down, but spoke no word. Rather he yawned, his feet just planted there. Sick sleep, it seemed, had struck him hard, or fever. He eyed the snake. The reptile eyed him back. Each gave out smoke in streams. The wound of one, the serpent's jaws, the smoke streams slowly met. Lucan, be silent now, and tell no more your snaky tales of poor Sabelus and Nasidius. Give ear to what the bow will now unleash. Ovid, be silent, lest Cadmus and Arethusa, in turning verse these two he may convert to snake or stream. I do not envy him. Line 100, page 223. For he, through metamorphosis, did not compose 2 species, glance on glance, whose forms disposed themselves exchanging actual substance. Each answered each, and working through this rule, the serpent fashioned from his tail a fork. The wounded human dragged his footprints to. The legs, now fastening at their inner thighs, adhered so well that soon the join between gave no clear sign of ever having been. The cloven tail assumed the figure now of that which, over there, was lost to view. Hide softened here, but hardened over there. I saw each arm retract and reach its pit. The paws, conversely, on that stubby newt, lengthened as much as human feet grew short. The hindmost toes then curled around and clenched. These formed the member that a man conceals. Ooh. Are they describing a penis?
Pretty sure.
Because I didn't really know what was going on for about half a page here. But that sure sounds like that, right? The other wretch wrenched his own part in two. Wait, the hindmost, the member that man conceals. Line 117. The other wretch wrenched his own part in two. As now around this pair the fumes still hang, a gauze of stranger colors, causing hair to sprout fresh here, while there it plucks it sleek. The one rose up, the other fell down flat, yet peering out as his snout changed for that, neither could rest from either evil eye beams. Upright, the one dragged gel across the two temple, and then from leakages of surplus pulp, a pair of ears appeared on thinned out jowls. Whatever residue did not run back now gelled and gave that face its human nose. The lips pumped up to meet the need, gained bulk. The other, lying flat, extends his muzzle. Then, just like snails when pulling in their horns, he draws his ears back, flush along his skull. And now the tongue, once whole and quick to speak, divides in two. The other finds his fork, has closed right up. Doesn't this sound like what Aristophanes was talking about in Plato's Symposium? There's a lot of splitting in two going on right now. Even genitals are being split in two. And his tongue is being split, divides in two. The other finds his fork. He has closed right up. The furrows of smoke now cease. Page 225, line 136, Canto 25. The soul, transmogrified, to fearful beast, flees, hissing, snuffling off across the pit, spot on his track, the speaking presence spits, and then he turns on him, his novel back, to tell the third, I'll see sleek also go as I did belly flop around his track. Zemotic in the seventh bilge I saw, then change and counterchange. My only plea, if here my pen turns vain, must be sheer novelty. And though my vision was a bit confused, spirit quite drained of all its energies, these souls could not so covertly pass by that I should fail to see the cripple Puccio of three companions who had first come there, he, all alone, escaped from alteration. The last was him that you, Gavil, weep for. I feel like Canto 25 was harder to read than the other ones.
Yeah.